So a 14-2 run, bridging the two quarters for the Aces. Boston is tangled up. Jump ball is the call.
I mean, when you reach around from behind to tie somebody up, that doesn't usually get you a jump ball. I mean, I don't know how. Watch this play right here. Look. They're going to call a jump ball from behind? Look at Asia Wilson's like looking at the ref. Helena Boston's like, you got to be kidding me.
What do you do when the referees seem determined to hand your opponent the win? If you're the Indiana Fever, you fight back even harder. Their game against the Las Vegas Aces revealed an uncomfortable truth about WNBA officiating, and the evidence was impossible to ignore. From questionable calls favoring Aja Wilson to Stephanie White's explosive reaction, this matchup had it all. But the real story? It's what happened when the Fever players decided they weren't going to let biased officiating take this one from them. And Caitlin Clark's emotional sideline response says everything you need to know. Drop your thoughts on the WNBA refs in the comments below, and let's get into it.
It looked like the WNBA referees has been caught yet again not playing fair with the Fever with Stephanie White, and she said that's bullshit. She said it's just like that, man. I've never seen Stephanie White curse, bro. She cursed yesterday at the game.
Want to know what finally pushed Stephanie White over the edge? Let's be honest, coaches don't just explode on referees without serious cause. But that's exactly what happened when the officiating became so blatantly one-sided that even White couldn't hold back her frustration. From the opening tip, something felt off. The calls started flowing Vegas's way almost immediately, setting a tone that left Fever fans wondering if they were watching a fair game at all. You know what's truly maddening? When you can predict who's getting the favorable whistle before the play even unfolds.
Man, this moment right here was so egregious, man. I just wanted to point it out. I had to point it out, dog. There was no way, all right, that you can't tell me that the Asia Wilson whistle isn't a thing.
The breaking point came on a play that exposed everything wrong with WNBA officiating. Aja Wilson made clear contact with Aaliyah Boston from behind, contact that should have resulted in an obvious foul. Instead, the referees inexplicably called a jump ball. Boston got hit hard, and the officials acted like nothing happened. That's when head coach Christy Sides, or White, if referring to someone else, please clarify, lost it. Her raw reaction was caught on camera as she shouted in frustration at referees who appeared determined to protect Wilson at all costs.
This is the stuff that pisses me off. Look at hands straight up. Another foul in the Fever. The Aces had him up 11 free throws to 2. While we watch these officials, let's watch these screens. They're like dirty plays. You could just see them checking the Indiana Fever all game long. Like, these are not good screens. And then watch this. Another, like, they called so many fouls, sent the Aces to the line.
Here's the thing. This wasn't an isolated incident. Aja Wilson consistently received favorable treatment that most players could only dream of. When Aaliyah Boston made the same kind of contact in nearly identical situations, the whistle blew without hesitation. But when Wilson did it, the referees suddenly looked the other way. It was the same game on the surface, but with different rules depending on which jersey you were wearing.
And then look at this. They don't call this a foul. She grabs Aaliyah Boston around the back. That's what Aaliyah Boston's saying. And instead of a foul, they called a jump ball. But I just showed you all the times. And look at this. The Aces player hits it out with their hand. Aerie never touched it again, but they give the ball to the Aces. Look at these fouls. And then look at this. Sophie Cunningham gets knocked over in the back, but they don't call a foul. No foul, and Stephanie White by now, she is pissed.
Sophie Cunningham experienced the double standard firsthand. The same physical plays that earned her fouls were completely ignored when Aja Wilson was the one initiating contact. The inconsistency was so blatant that fans were yelling at their screens, watching referees apply entirely different standards to identical situations. Aaliyah Boston faced the same treatment all night. Actions that Wilson got away with became instant fouls the moment Boston tried them. The pattern was impossible to ignore. Wilson seemed to be playing under a different rulebook, while Fever players were penalized for simply being physical.
The stuff the WNBA ignores then makes foul calls like this on Sophie Cunningham beyond comical. Caitlin will shoot 50 free throws a game if she got this whistle. Now, we know Caitlin Clark has not been seeing a promising whistle from the WNBA referees. And I'm telling you right now, it don't look like she will, man.
This wasn't coincidence. It was systematic bias aimed at keeping the Aces competitive in a game where they were clearly being outplayed. The officiating manufactured opportunities for Vegas, turning what should have been a fair basketball contest into something that felt more like scripted entertainment. The free throw disparity tells the story. Vegas shot 17 free throws to Indiana's 12, despite the Fever attacking the paint aggressively all night. Those extra attempts weren't earned through superior play, they were handed out by officials who seemed determined to keep the Aces within reach. But here's what they didn't expect: Indiana's unshakable fight. The Fever refused to break, even under the weight of questionable officiating.
Aaliyah Boston was so confused. Look at her. Aaliyah Boston was pissed. She's like, huh? Man, look, the Asia Wilson whistle, dog. Unmatched. Only two whistles that could match that whistle is Nafisa Collier and Breonna Stewart, dog. Those are only two other whistles that can match that whistle, dog. Oh my goodness.
The Fever players rose to the occasion when it looked like biased officiating might steal their win. Each one delivered key blows to the Aces' championship hopes. Want to see real mental toughness? Just watch how these players refuse to let the officiating break their spirit. Kelsey Mitchell started the game completely out of rhythm, missing her first 4 shots and going just 4 of 19 through 3 quarters, all while dealing with calls that clearly disrupted Indiana's momentum. Lesser players would have folded under that pressure. But not Mitchell. She saved her best for when it mattered most. The fourth quarter was hers, scoring 9 points on 4 of 5 shooting, including the clutch three-pointer that gave the Fever the lead for good. They never looked back.
Austin, handoff, Cunningham too strong. Mitchell able to save the day. And it's Mitchell going right to the rim. Beats the shot clock and lays it in. Mitchell to the rescue.
Sessions very disruptive, causing all kinds of havoc, late shot clock situations. And then Kelsey Mitchell.
Natasha Howard completely outplayed AJA Wilson on both ends of the floor, delivering her 6th double-double of the season with 18 points on 6 of 9 shooting and 13 rebounds. She dominated the matchup, outshining a player who often benefits from favorable calls. Howard's third quarter burst, scoring 11 points, erased Vegas's lead and reminded everyone that talent always beats bias. She even buried a rare three-pointer and added 3 steals, making this performance feel like a throwback to her standout showing in the Commissioner's Cup, when Aces fans were heading for the exits early.
And that's what Indiana's trying to do here with Vegas.
Mitchell leaves it, Howard open, knocks down a 3. Here's McDonald, jitterbug into the paint. Howard, aggressive attack, left hand, got it to go, and a foul.
When she gets the basketball in space and she's got a one-on-one, Natasha Howard has a lot to do.
In her last 6 games from the three-point line. There's McDonald running the floor, doesn't get the whistle, but guess who to clean up?
Aaliyah Boston delivered a strong double-double with 13 points and 10 rebounds, showing renewed confidence despite taking contact all night with little help from the officials. Her willingness to step out and shoot from deep stretched the floor and forced defensive problems Vegas couldn't solve. When you're getting fouled on nearly every possession and the whistle never comes, you adapt, and Boston did just that by hitting shots no one could take away.
The league and shots blocked. Pull bounce in front. Knocks down a 3.
Sophie Cunningham continued her scorching July run with 15 points on 4 of 5 shooting, drilling 3 of 4 from beyond the arc like they were layups. This outing was just business as usual for someone shooting an incredible 58.1% from 3 over her last 6 games while averaging 13.7 points per contest. Cunningham's deep range and defensive versatility make her the perfect complement to Indiana's core, and the frustration was written all over AJA Wilson's face each time another shot dropped.
Offense was not the issue for Indiana on Tuesday. They put up 84 points despite the absence of Caitlin Clark. Cunningham hit 5 threes, and it's her first tonight. Stay with Indiana.
So Sophie Cunningham doing a really good job of reading the stagger. You have options off that, and she's reading the second.
Ari McDonald saved her biggest moment for last. With just 35 seconds remaining and the game on the line, she knocked down a clutch three-pointer that effectively sealed the Aces' fate. McDonald finished a perfect 3-4-3 from beyond the arc, and that dagger was the only shot she took in the fourth quarter. Her 9 points, 4 assists, and 2 steals in just 22 minutes were a testament to the kind of depth that builds championship teams. Meanwhile, Lexi Hull was making her mark on the defensive end, locking down opposing players with her relentless hustle and game-changing stops. While the Fever's players were battling both their opponents and some head-scratching officiating, someone else was waging a fight of her own from the sideline, Caitlin Clark. One moment said it all, a blatant travel unfolding right in front of the referee, as a player pivoted off both feet and shuffled around with the ball in clear view. Lexi Hull's stunned reaction told the story, but what really stood out was Clark. Her frustration finally boiled over as she jumped up and down in disbelief, visibly upset by what she saw. That wasn't just emotion, it was the reaction of a competitor who refuses to watch her teammates get robbed by inconsistent, questionable officiating.
And look at this travel. This is the craziest thing ever. The ref's right in front of the ref's eyes. This girl's pivoting on 2 feet, jumping around, gets the ball, I don't even know. But Lexi Hull, look at her reaction.
Clark sat helplessly on the bench, forced to watch as referees appeared to systematically tilt the game with increasingly questionable calls. Each moment of bias against the Fever cut deeper for someone who lives and breathes basketball. For a competitor like Clark, there's nothing more painful than being unable to change the outcome while watching officials hand momentum to the other side. The call that triggered her animated reaction was yet another controversial decision, one that seemed aimed at protecting AJA Wilson. But Clark saw what many fans missed in real time, the subtle contact that went uncalled, the positioning that gave Vegas an edge, the split-second choices that always seemed to favor the Aces. Her frustration wasn't just emotional, it was the reaction of someone who understands the game at its highest level, recognizing when fairness has left the floor.
Caitlin at one stage, jumping up off the bench to start screaming around.
Caitlin Clark's injury made this moment even more painful. She's used to influencing games with her performance, but this time, all she could do was watch as the chaos unfolded. Every questionable call stung more deeply when she couldn't respond on the court. Her visible anger became the voice that every Fever fan needed. Looking for validation? Clark's reaction confirmed exactly what Indiana supporters had been shouting the entire game. When the face of women's basketball is that visibly upset about officiating, it signals a much deeper issue. Her frustration wasn't about a single call, it was about the ongoing favoritism AJA Wilson continues to benefit from, game after game.
But that's a foul. Ari McDonald goes up and gets hit in the air, no foul called, right? And then they call a foul on her for not even touching a person. That was a foul call on Ari McDonald. Look at this. And then touch foul A'ja Wilson. And then here we go, another touch foul for the Aces. Like, how many times do they call fouls on the Fever, but they want this to be a physical game?
This taps into a deeper issue quietly affecting the WNBA, the perception that certain players receive preferential treatment. When the league plays favorites, it risks losing credibility and makes fans wonder whether games are decided by talent or politics. Caitlin Clark's visible frustration pulled back the curtain on that reality. But here's the silver lining, this experience will only fuel Clark's motivation. Do you really think she'll forget seeing referees disrupt her team's momentum? That kind of frustration builds a fire that practice alone can't spark. She now understands exactly how the system protects certain stars, and that awareness will make her return even more dangerous. Despite being sidelined, Clark's leadership and energy helped hold the team together through adversity. Her presence reminded everyone this was about more than one game, it was about identity and pride. And this victory, earned without their brightest star, proves the Fever are building something truly special heading into 2025.
If you smash down hard enough, the officials get super confused. Wilson gets away with these fouls all the time, especially against the Fever. Hey, right. Dang, that's a fact. I forgot all about that one, man. Literally, and she laughs every time, though.
Want a shocking stat? Sophie Cunningham is currently the league's top three-point shooter for the month of July, and it's not even close. While the spotlight stays on bigger names, Cunningham has quietly evolved from a role player into a legitimate 6th Player of the Year contender. Let's be honest about these numbers. Over her last 6 games, she's shooting a jaw-dropping 58.1% from beyond the arc, averaging 3.0 made threes per game. That's not just a hot streak, that's consistent excellence that stacks up with anyone in the league. Her 13.7 points per game during this stretch proves she's no longer just a spot-up option, she's become a true scoring threat.
I wasn't 100% confident we were going to close out the game at one point, especially with the way the refs were doing it, but I want to shout out to Sophie Cunningham. She got like 33 minutes last night, shot 4 for 5, 15 points again. I mean, she is playing lights out. You could not ask for more from her. And she's not a focal point on the offense. It's not like they run plays for her. She just, spots up, ready to rock and roll, hits everything that comes in her hand. She's shooting the best three-point percentage in the WNBA in the month of July.
Sophie Cunningham's 3 of 4 shooting performance against Vegas felt like just another routine outing for a player who's suddenly become one of the hottest shooters in the league. She poured in 15 efficient points, even as the referees did their best to disrupt Indiana's flow. That's exactly what elite role players are built to do, step up when it matters most. Cunningham handled contested threes like they were practice shots. And the timing? Couldn't be better. Her breakout streak began right as Caitlin Clark went down with injury, showcasing the Fever's remarkable depth and preparation. While other teams might panic without their star, Indiana simply plugged in Cunningham and kept winning. That's what championship-level roster building looks like.
Playing for Sophie Cunningham to start again tonight, or what's your...
Yes.
What is it about her, I guess, at the start of a game that you like having her in the lineup?
Another ball handler, another player who can create shots for her teammates, as well as stretch the floor. A really good defensive rebounder as well. We had at times really struggled from a defensive rebounding standpoint, so like that as well. And her energy.
Here's why Sophie Cunningham is such a valuable asset. Her defensive versatility and clutch shooting make her the ideal complement to Indiana's core. She can guard multiple positions, rebound effectively, and most importantly, she never hesitates when it's time to take a big shot. Those are exactly the traits championship teams need from a sixth player. Cunningham's rise fits perfectly into the larger narrative of players stepping up when their team needs them most. She didn't wait for perfect conditions, she saw her moment and took it. That mindset is contagious, and it's spreading across the entire Fever roster. Sophie Cunningham's performance visibly frustrated AJA Wilson and the Aces, who had no answer for her deep shooting. Every time Vegas tried to shift their defensive focus elsewhere, Cunningham made them pay from beyond the arc. Wilson appeared genuinely irritated watching shot after shot fall from a player she likely didn't take seriously in scouting reports. Cunningham's 15 points perfectly illustrated how Indiana's supporting cast refuses to be overlooked. She's not just logging minutes, she's actively helping win games with elite shot-making and defensive versatility. Her role in the starting lineup has allowed her to showcase leadership qualities that had long gone under the radar. And once Caitlin Clark rejoins a squad playing at this level, the rest of the league better be ready.
Vegas has done a nice job coming on the road, keeping Indiana Fever in check offensively, and Sophie Cunningham, you cannot lose her.
This victory proves the Fever are building championship-caliber culture that overcomes any obstacle, including corrupt officiating. Their 13-win, 12-loss record and season series win over Vegas secures crucial tiebreaker advantages for playoff seeding. You're watching a team that refuses to fold under pressure. 2025 will be the year Indiana shows the entire WNBA what happens when you try to hold back a team destined for greatness. Clark returns to this evolved squad with players like Cunningham shooting lights out and Mitchell clutching up in big moments. Keep supporting this incredible team as they prepare to shock the basketball world with their transformed roster and unbreakable spirit. Let us know down in the comments below what you think of the WNBA referees. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we will see you in the next one.
This win sends a loud message. The Indiana Fever are building a championship-caliber culture, one that pushes through adversity, even in the face of questionable officiating. Now sitting at 13-12 and holding a season series win over the Las Vegas Aces, the Fever have secured a key tiebreaker that could play a major role in playoff positioning. This is a team that doesn't crack under pressure. In fact, they thrive in it. Looking ahead to 2025, the rest of the league needs to take notice. You can't hold back a team that's destined for greatness. Caitlin Clark will return to a more mature, battle-tested squad, one with Sophie Cunningham lighting it up from deep and Kelsey Mitchell showing up big in clutch time. This isn't just a comeback story, it's a transformation. Keep backing this incredible squad as they aim to shock the basketball world with a revamped roster and an unshakable mindset. Drop your thoughts on the officiating in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a moment of the Fever's journey.